Get ready for an unfair advantage over your competition. This is the Sales Edge Podcast, where globally recognized sales expert and trainer Joe Pici helps you sharpen your skills for booking more appointments and closing more deals. And now, here's your host, Joe Pici.
Welcome back to episode number 48 of the Sales Edge Podcast. We're certainly glad you've come back, and Sales Edge is sponsored by Pici & Pici, and of course you know it's a sales training, speaking, coaching, consulting company. We specialize in helping companies and individuals get in front of their target market, be able to book more appointments, close more business. We also specialize in helping those speakers, coaches, and trainers that want to increase their income, able to get more money, more clients. And so that's the specialty of Pici & Pici. But we are here today with the Sales Ed Podcast. We'd like you to feel free to call me at 407-947-2590 to have a complimentary cup of Joe, talk a little shop, find out if there's anything we can do to help you, but also give us some ideas on what you'd like to hear coming down the road, disagreements, agreements. Also, send to Joe at PICI, any suggestions, any comments, any questions. And we'll address those on the air unless you want them addressed privately. So today is the second part of a two-part podcast series on persistence. This is podcast number 48. And so if we were kind of talking about what this one was all about, as our first podcast was about the power of persistence, this one is more about persistence is not being stubborn. And so many times we can mistake being stubborn for having persistence. Please don't mistake persistence with being stubborn. You know, persistence is the key to success. However, stubbornness can be fatal in success. And so as we move down the road here, persistence is when we continue towards the goal and don't quit no matter what. And we went deep into that whole mindset of whatever it takes in our last podcast. We're looking to achieve our goal. However, we may need to adjust our strategies, our skills, our tactics, and our approaches, even though we never stop. So you can continue to be persistent and make adjustments in your strategy, in your overall, how are we going to get there? However, stubbornness is when we keep going day after day, over and over, the same way, and it's not working. Okay? And we're afraid to try something new. We're afraid to add a new process, maybe to get an outside set of eyes on what we're doing. Persistence, okay, doesn't mean doing something over and over again. It means sticking with the goal, even if you have to try a different strategy. And so you have to be kind of on top of things. So persistence is that internal drive, but we have to have the wisdom and the understanding of knowing if I'm hitting my head against the wall, if it's not releasing to me and I'm applying the efforts, maybe it's time to shift, evolve, and adjust how we're doing things. Okay? And so the thing about the goal, it's got to be so crystal clear. And we have to stay focused and persist. When we realize we need to adjust our strategy, the goal didn't change, the direction changed. So many times we mistake adding something as a weakness when in fact the goal is still there. It's still crystallized. It's still in front of us. However, maybe we need to adjust. Excuse me. The goals need to be in concrete, our plans in sand. Now, what does that mean? Goals don't change, but having the plans in sand means you can move them around. You know, we need to be flexible. Flexibility is an important part of success. If we have strategy and skills that are not working, we need to be open to an adjustment. That can take with a personal assessment. That can take who is your coach. If you have a coach, if you have another set of eyes on your process, it's always good to have somebody who has walked your road before. Okay, so persistence makes the most sense when your goals are established and they're in line with your day-to-day operations. So having that whatever it takes attitude is vital, okay? And whatever it takes within the boundaries of legal, moral, and ethical. So we have to make sure what we're doing is honorable also. So I'm not talking about the end justify the means. No. The goal and the persistence and the focus has to be within morals, ethics, okay, and legal matters. Now, there are very many wealthy people that are successful, and their goals were financial independence. You're looking at Warren Buffett. You look at Bill Gates. You look at the guy who owns the Mavericks. And, there's so many people that their goal, their absolute focus goal was financial independence. However, a lot of them use different vehicles in getting there. Some use technology. Some use real estate. There's different ways you can get to the goal. So although there's people out there that have that maybe goal of financial independence, the vehicle, the strategy, the tactics may be different. Same goal, different road. Persistence is a great characteristic. It's a characteristic that we should have, that our team should have. Hopefully we pass this on to our children. We're working on passing this on to our grandchildren now. Stubbornness is detrimental. People that are stubborn no longer are teachable. I said in the last podcast about being hungry, humble, and persistent. When a person is just stubborn, they lose their humility. They lose their ability to be taught. They lose their learning capability. And so they stop things, okay? Persistence is hard. Fighting through setbacks, this is hard. I don't know why we believe when we get something started, a project or whatever, I don't know why we think it's going to be easy. It looks easy. Some people make it look easy. It's always amazing to me. It really is shocking to me that people are shocked when the challenges come. It's almost like out of left field, and yet this is part of life. They're coming. If you're listening to this, here's what I can promise you. You're either in a challenge, you're coming out of a challenge, or you're going into a challenge. Now, this is all going on when you're focused on achieving a goal. If we think we can achieve great goals without significant challenges and obstacles, we're sadly mistaken. The bigger the prize, the bigger the price. I know that the more we're trying to strive for excellence, for next level, I know there's going to be another set of hurdles. I know that. That's why these two podcasts are emphasizing, suggesting that you get a persistence mindset mastery in place, a philosophy, a set of standards and skills and tactics that you use when you're going through it. And so, worry can be a major challenge in and of itself. Worry is useless. Most of the things we worry about never happen. The biggest challenge that we face, usually we don't see it coming. There's things that happen to us here at Peachy and Peachy, and when it hits us, we weren't We didn't know it was coming. It was a surprise. It came out of nowhere. You'll lose a contract. You have a goal to make X amount of dollars, and you factor it into your present client base, okay? You got this client, this client, this client. Boy, we are on track. We're making headway. We are on track to hit our goal. And then you get that email, and that email says, "Thank you so much for everything you've done. We've decided not to execute the complete contract. We will pay a severance. However, we're not going to move forward." And all of a sudden, that left a hole in the boat. Now, if you didn't have a persistence mindset, if you did not have a persistence philosophy, and you didn't have the skills and tactics in place, that could knock you out of the park. So when we set goals, prepare for obstacles, know they're coming, persistence with assessment. Now, I just made that up. In other words, I'm going to be persistent and I'm going to have an assessment mindset. Do I need to adjust my plan or just press on with my present plan? Okay, have I not executed long enough for this to work, or is this not working because I need to assess how I'm doing things? You got to be on top of things. Two of the challenges I will tell you that are coming is failure and criticism. Now, I've done some stuff on failure, and we'll be talking about criticism down the road. Failure's not fun. Criticism hurts. I know people that take criticism to so much heart, it hurts them so bad that it actually puts their feet in concrete. I know that some people, when failure comes, they don't know how to handle it. Success does not require us to enjoy criticism and failure. It does require us to handle them. In other words, knowing that failure and criticism are coming, I'm not telling you to embrace them and like them. What I'm telling you is we've got to learn to handle them. You know, the road to success is littered with failure. If you're not failing, you're not striving. Here's 3 myths about failure, bogus beliefs, okay? Successful people don't fail. Success is not the absence of failure. You understand? We sometimes look at people and go, well, they've never been through what I've been through. They've never had the setbacks I've had. Well, let's just look at Winston Churchill, what he said, who, like I said in the last podcast, I think he was one of the most dynamic human beings on the planet. Success is moving from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. Do you lose your fight? I mean, when you get knocked down, when you're fighting to be persistent, are you doing it with enthusiasm? Do you pop out of bed in the morning and go, hey, let's get it on. Let's go. Okay? Because without enthusiasm, it's going to be hard to persist. Soichiro Honda, the founder of Honda, do you know what his philosophy on success was? Success is 99% failure. Oh, my goodness. How many of us believe that? And yet that man is a billionaire. Thomas Watson, who's the owner of IBM, if you want to be successful, his quote is, double your failure rate. Unbelievable. Abraham Lincoln lost almost every election he was in. And so when I think of some of the success-minded people, I think of Jim Rohn, who's just, if you've never read anything by Jim Rohn, you're missing something here, because he was incredible. Here's a quote by Jim. When the story of your life is written, let it show your wins, let it show your losses, but don't let it show that you didn't play. How would you explain that? See, I don't believe we're measured on failure and success. I believe we're measured on persistence and the willingness to keep on going and to keep on keeping on. Here's another bogus belief. Smart people don't fail. Wow. I don't have to worry about that one. But anyway, Albert Einstein was wrong 99% of the time. Wow. he says that's what it takes. We cannot be right 100% of the time. And so we're talking about mega people here. We're talking about people that when we look at them, we think, my gosh, if I could only be like that. Smart people do fail. You know, there is a massive list of highly intelligent people that have failed. But the only ones you hear about, listen, are the ones who persisted. You would have never heard about Albert Einstein if he wasn't persistent. You would have never heard about Winston Churchill or Abraham Lincoln if they didn't persist. You only heard about them when they finally achieved, and then you heard about all the failures. But think about the people we don't hear about because they chose not to persist. You know? So, smart people take smart risks. Others take no risks, and some take stupid risks. Smart people, they will look at the upscale potential and the downside risk. Then they'll determine, should we move forward? So they're always looking and assessing the future, what this is worth. Is this worth doing? And then I'm going to kick in my persistence model. Now, Michael Jordan, many believe he's the best of all time. Kind of believe that. He lost 300 games. He missed 9,000 shots. 26 times he had the final shot of the game that would win or lose, and he missed it. And so we're talking about people, again, that we hear about and think, wow, they went through this? No, they went through it, and you heard about it, and they are poster children for greatness because of one thing. When it was tough, they persisted. When they were failing, they persisted. When they were down, they persisted. Wayne Gretzky says you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So failure is just the opportunity to begin again and again more intelligently. That was Thomas Edison. You know, we're going to deal with criticism on another podcast. But what I'm here to say to you is don't mistake persistence with stubbornness. Stubbornness is to hit your head against the wall, to quit, to back off without a plan B, without the ability to listen and learn and assess, to redirect. I mean, Joe and Dawn Peachy are in the constant state of persistence with assessment. We've had to make a lot of adjustments in the last year and a half to our approach. Remember, I was the flip phone guy 10 months ago. Now I'm the iPhone guy. Now there's so many things we're doing. The same goal is in place. But we kicked in persistence with assessment of redirecting the way we're going to get there. And so persistence, not stubbornness, is the ability to set the goal, persist, fail, assess, reload, persist over and over again. Let me say that again. Persistence, not stubbornness, is the ability to set the goal, persist, fail, assess, reload, persist over and over again until we achieve. So this is Joe Peachy. We have some free downloads for you if you'll take out your phone. If you'll type in 55678, if you will put in the tagline Sales Edge, one word, and text that will take you to a link which will take you to a splash page. Our pictures are on there. Scroll down. There's some free ebooks, one on LinkedIn, one on sales. Also, scroll down more. There's links to this podcast. If you like what you're hearing, if this is an asset to you, can you like it? Can you share it? And can you give us a comment? Please feel free to send in questions. We want to answer your questions. Send in comments. Send in suggestions. The Sales Edge is going to continue to get better to help you get better. Thanks a lot. We'll see you on our next podcast.
Thanks for listening. New episodes will air each Tuesday and Thursday, so make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and give us a 5-star review. The Sales Edge is sponsored by Peachy & Peachy Incorporated, a firm which provides training, consulting, and keynote presentations, empowering corporations and individuals to attract and retain quality clients for higher revenues and growth. Make more money in sales. Speak with Joe in person by calling 407-947-2590 or visit www.peachyandpeachy.com, spelled PICIAND, PICI.com.